Pedophile kidnapped child from park after being released on bail. A pedophile kidnapped a child from a park after being released on bail. Ben Herring, 21, had talked online about killing a baby, and been arrested for distributing vile images of abuse. He was allowed back on the streets, where he was able to abduct the boy, 7, from a park in Hull in May 2016. Herring has now been jailed for life after a judge ruled he was dangerous and posed a substantial risk to the public. During the park incident, Herring carried the child towards bushes with the intention of sexually assaulting him. The boy managed to struggle free and run off. He was first arrested in January 2016 after he was caught distributing vile images of abuse, including of a child under 2 being raped. Less than a month later, he sexually assaulted an 11-year-old boy. After being arrested and interviewed a second time, Herring was again allowed back on the streets, when he soon targeted another child. Hull Crown Court heard many of the images were of babies or very young children and featured restraint and coercion, and of the victims being bound and prepared for serious sexual abuse. When Herring was first arrested for distributing child abuse images, after information gathered by the Child Exploitation and Online Protection (SHOP) service, he was administrator of a messaging service called OnListenBubby. Claire Holmes, prosecuting, said police also found chats about abusing babies, with Herring questioning other users whether they would kill a baby. He had also searched for babysitting jobs in Hull. Fire Brigade hits back at criticism of stay put advice to Grenfell residents. Salad cream is going to have a totally different name for first time in 104 years. Man conned granddad out of life savings to pay for girlfriend's breast enlargement in the kidnapping incident. The victim was on a swing in a children's play area near Porter Street, city center, when Herring approached from behind and began pushing him. He asked the child, "Do you want to come for a walk?" To which the boy said no. Herring then picked the boy up from behind and started to carry him away to the bushes. But with the boy pushing and moving to get away, Herring put him down and he ran off crying. Sentencing Herring on Monday, Judge David Tremberg told him of the kidnapping. "Had that boy gone with you, or had you succeeded in taking him away, it is clear by your admission to count 2, kidnap with intent to commit a sexual offense, that you would have submitted him to sexual abuse. And given your interest and preoccupation, there was, in my judgment, a significant risk this abuse would have taken a substantially graver form than your behavior in count 1, sexual assault of a child under 13. As well as pleading guilty to those 2 offenses, Herring, of Hessel Road, West Hull, also admitted 3 offenses of distributing indecent photographs of children. Ms. Holmes said when his mobile phone was examined after the kidnapping, more extreme images of child abuse were found, including of a 4-year-old girl with a bag tied over her head, her eyes closed, and the word rape written in dark color on her torso. These images had been created just a month earlier, which Ms. Holmes said showed strong evidence of the motive of the kidnap. Nigel Clive, mitigating, said Herring had been diagnosed with personality disorders and pedophilia, and had a borderline extremely low IQ. He said, "The defendant himself says he is very troubled by the urges he has and very much wishes to rid himself of those urges." Herring's minimum tariff was set at 17 months, but he can only be released when the parole board finds it is safe to do so. More, husband spends 13 years documenting life with his wife and her illness. More, racist mother abuses elderly woman for asking her daughter to give up subway seat.